dance.
Welcome back to Movie Nights, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about Showgirls 2. It's longer, bigger, better. Which is what I would say if this weren't such a colossal disappointment. I never thought I'd say this in my life, but I really had higher expectations for the sequel to Showgirls. And technically there's another unofficial fan-made sequel called Showgirls Exposed, which is how this one started until they realized that apparently the rights to Showgirls cost about $3 in their dignity.
Showgirls 2?
Does the first Showgirls movie exist in this universe? Showgirls 2, Pennies from Heaven. This movie was written, produced, directed, edited by, and starring Rena Riffel, who played Penny in the first movie. The most important character. If you don't remember her, that's okay. She was one of the other dancers at the Cheetah who ended up hooking up with Jimmy because he got her pregnant. And if you don't remember Jimmy, here's a refresher.
Man, everybody got AIDS and shit.
Oh, don't worry, he's in this too.
Man, everybody got AIDS and shit.
I did not come into this expecting Oscar material. I was expecting it to be cheap, trashy, and self-aware. Minimum, I was expecting a movie. And I'm not even really sure I got that. It's so cheap, not even really that trashy, and I hesitate to call it self-aware. Even as a vanity project, I don't think it really succeeds in what it sets out to do. It is a showcase for no one, put together by someone who has no idea how to edit or structure a film while simultaneously aping the first movie. And whether you love or hate the first Showgirls, I think most people agree it is a beautiful movie. Showgirls 2 is what you'd get if you threw the first Showgirls into a dumpster, retrieved the negatives, and then rubbed sweaty underwear all over it. You can smell it through the screen. But it was made in 2011, so at least it's timely! Here's the thing that appealed to me about Showgirls 2. It is a delightfully pointless endeavor, which automatically makes it worthwhile. It is a movie no one asked for, continuing the legacy of one of the most notoriously bad movies of all time. Showgirls is a wild ride from start to finish. But what I got wasn't so much a beautiful celebration of the insanity that is Showgirls, so much as things happening while people quote Showgirls. There's dialogue from the first film thrown in throughout this whole movie, but it's just there to be like, hey, remember this line?
You can't touch me, but I can touch you.
I can touch you, but you can't touch me.
Was he serious?
Are you serious?
You see, darling, you are a whore.
You are a whore, darling.
Do you like my nails?
Do you like my nails?
It's like to boldly flee levels of reference humor. Just a reminder, this thing exists. And without putting a new spin on it or turning it into a joke, it's just Showgirls, the crappy version. Except this time, you'd better have 2 hours and 25 minutes to kill, which is 14 minutes longer than the original and the approximate amount of time it took for man to evolve. The editing is really poor here, and it's difficult to tell if it's done on purpose or if it's just due to incompetence. And if it was meant to be a joke, it was not successful. I can forgive Rena Riffel's editing a little bit though, because as you watch this movie, it becomes painfully obvious that this was just shot based on availability. So regardless of who was editing, it was gonna be a confusing mess. Characters and plots drop off the face of the earth. Character motivations change simply because they need someone there to move things along. The acting is also questionable.
I hope your t-shirt business can start making some money.
Whoa, look, I give you a ride in my uncle's $1 million Porsche and you pull a gun on me?
How am I too down?
Goddard searches for girls that have special magic that he can exploit.
And there is no time for second takes.
Okay, I came to my studio parking space the other day.
You have to go pick up my purple for me, alright? Because I want you to go pick it up.
The locations are also pretty cheap and don't really fit with the luxurious settings they're supposed to have. There's a scene set in a strip club where they film outside. So they do the stripping scene from the first movie, but she doesn't get naked, which defeats the point of having a stripping scene. Disgusting. At one point, they use someone's vacation photo as an establishing shot. You can see the guy in the picture. And if the soundtrack sounds familiar to you, that's because it's all free Kevin MacLeod tracks. That's right, the same stuff I score my show with.
What titty contest?
Jimmy is barely in this because they can't afford the actor. Well, my car's out of commission, time to skateboard to work. He does have some of the funniest lines in the movie, though.
No pot of gold at the end of that stupid ass rainbow. It's fool's gold, as fake as the tits on these Vegas hoes.
The plot of Showgirls 2 is thus. Penny goes to Vegas to become a famous ballet dancer, meets a diva star along the way, and things get cutthroat and naked. So basically, Showgirls 1. But then you've got these other things that have no place here and make no sense. This is a long, confusing bit of nonsense when it comes down to it. Even worse than when they copy the first Showgirls is when they try to do their own thing. Penny's journey begins with a murderous Marilyn Monroe impersonator with pink hair.
You dumb bitch. Too bad you had a look.
Penny kills her in self-defense and takes her big sack of money. And to get away, she disguises herself in the dress covered in the victim's blood? Okay, that's kind of funny. She is supposed to be stupid. The murder part of this plot thread won't be brought up again until the end of the movie, 2 days after you've forgotten it. First abandoned plot thread. This dance troupe she wants to be a part of, a local TV show called Star Dancer, in someone's dark basement somewhere, is led by a bitchy ballet dancer who is injured via sabotage. Chuckling evilly, she plans to hire a replacement with a dark past that they can use as blackmail when she wants to return to the group.
With some dark secret. So we can blackmail her with.
Penny, who they have set up as being on the run from the law and wanting to join this dance group, would fit the bill perfectly, if this were a real movie. Instead, they hire Katya, this other lady with no dark past to speak of, who basically takes on the same role. First bitchy lady is never relevant again. It's possible Katya works for this other lady, but then I question why she added the middleman when that sort of defeats the point of hiring someone you can blackmail. This is all for a local TV show! And no offense to this actress, but she does not physically have the build of a famous ballet dancer. But I guess that works out, because at no point does she have to dance in this dance act. Which you think would be important in a movie called Showgirls 2. Also, you would never know Rena Riffle is a dancer, because this movie's choreography is really sketchy. They got some copies of that one dance from the first one, and some basic ballet, but that's about it. And look, you guys have seen my show's intro. I can't dance to save my life. But this movie is about a dance act. Second abandoned plot thread. Penny is introduced to some Nazi Wizard of Oz secret society or something? I don't know, they're only in one scene.
Madame Blavatsky pointed out the pagan symbol to refugees and took the symbol upon himself. And called it later turned around and banned underground, practicing the craft in secret to avoid the Nazis. The Freemasons?
What are you talking about?
Your Majesty.
What? Third abandoned plot thread. Penny meets a sketchy dude who says he can get her the job on Star Dancer and ends up pimping her out. She's indignant about being a prostitute, but also complains about money problems, which is weird because she stole enough money from the Marilyn Monroe impersonator to buy a $30,000 coat and lives at a resort with a sexy maid. But to be fair, that could be because she's an idiot who gave away the coat for no reason.
May I have it?
Sure. The maid is also an idiot, who works for her despite never having been paid apparently.
Could you please pay me today?
Anyway, it turns out Shady Dude has a snuff film collection, so he can sacrifice women to some pagan deity or something? This movie confuses me. And Penny worries that she'll be next.
The grand finale. My grand finale.
The snuff films are never brought up again. Part B of that abandoned plot thread, she shoots her pimp, and he walks away like he wasn't just shoved down the stairs and shot twice in the shoulder. This is his character's conclusion. Fourth abandoned plot thread, random divine little person intervention.
You must go and find Goddess. She is the sacred Black Madonna. She'll put you on the right path.
I wish I knew. Did you know that that random side character from Showgirls has a dead twin sister? Did ya care? And then we have the romance between Penny and Katya. Yummy! A dinner of hot dogs, cucumbers, and whole tomatoes! As much as I didn't understand some of the love-hate relationship going on in the first Showgirls, it at least had a consistent arc. In this movie, what happens in one scene is not gonna correlate with another. Katya is jealous of Penny and kicks her out, but then shows up at her house to be her BFF, and also so they can imitate the pool scene from the first one. Really badly. And like, that scene is iconic. It's wild and over the top, and that's why people remember it. So if you're gonna imitate it, you better damn well do better than that half-assed bullshit. Man, even the pillow fights in this movie are half-assed. Dudes, help me out here. Is this boner material? So they're lovers, but then Katya gets jealous again, and then kicks her out, and then maybe goes evil? What? It's on and off again, depending on if they're filming at her house or not. In one of their on-again phases, they decide to run away together. But just kidding, Penny decides to sabotage her and take over. At this point, they're working at, I don't know, some tiki lounge living room owned by a pawn shop guy? What is she working for at this point? Why does a tiki lounge have a ballet act? By now, it's been about 6 million years, and I feel like my bones have fossilized. Penny is arrested for the murder, and, were this movie more merciful, that's where it would have ended. But it doesn't. It just keeps going and going and going. To add insult to injury, after she's arrested, we smash cut to her getting out. So I guess that wasn't important. It turns out her maid, who was taking a detective class, took her case and got her out. Well, I hope she fucking pays her eventually. Oh yeah, and the suitcase guy is in this too.
You are a star fucker.
Yikes-a-roni! This was an interminably long sit. It wasn't even fun bad, it just really made me feel like I didn't appreciate the first Showgirls enough. If this had tried to be its own thing, I think it probably would have still been bad, but a better sit at least. I don't expect it to recapture the magic of the first movie, but I at least expect it to be entertaining, and it wasn't. It just fell flat. I had to watch this twice, and I feel like I lost years of my life. So, I think in the end, you should just rewatch the first Showgirls. As for Showgirls 2, it does suck.
I'm digging your wiener.